And that's where I feel the show kind of falls apart. So it's Super Bowl Sunday. You just discovered Tubi for the first time. Some of you may have known it. Some of you may not have known it. And if you're on Tubi, Tubi is hoping that you'll use this opportunity to explore some of their other catalog. Tubi, who is the Fox stepchild, one would say. We all know that Hulu was part of the Fox Disney deal. It got moved over. 20th Century Fox, a whole bunch of Fox IP got moved over. Tubi was a streaming service that had ad-supported content, F.A.S.T TV, and then Fox decided they wanted to get back in the game somehow, some way, so they ended up buying Tubi, which was smart because at the time, no one was really paying attention to Tubi. It was relatively small, but now everyone's doing F.A.S.T TV because they realize they can make more money off of you with advertising than they can with subscriptions, which is why you're seeing a lot of your favorite streaming services flipping over, trying to get you to go to the ad-based tiers. Well, Tubi is no different. Actually, Tubi is the front runner. In some ways, they've actually beaten some of the other streaming companies. And one of the advantages with Tubi, you don't have to have an account. They're relying on the idea that we can just sell you the ads. You can just keep coming back. You don't even have to subscribe. Do you want to keep a history of what you've been watching? Cool. Sign up. But you don't even want to do that. You're okay with just going back and finding your spot yourself. You can do that. And that's where Tubi comes in, and that's what they're selling you. And that's what they're selling advertisers, because they actually have people doing it, and they're doing it relatively well. They're making their money. They've actually beaten some of the other streamers in some weeks with some of the content they've had. Then you hear things like Mubi, who has the substance because no one else wanted to touch it. All these smaller companies are making bigger moves because they figured out how to grab onto the things that the bigger companies might be avoiding, not thinking about, or even just scared of. And that's the thing. So you have a show like The Z-Suite. It's a new series, only 2 episodes so far at the time that I'm recording this. Original cast. You have Nico Santos and Laura Graham. Already, just those 2 people alone are names. Superstore, Gilmore Girls, Parenthood. Like Lauren Graham and Nico they've done their stuff. They've made their money. They're on TV. They're recognizable faces. So tossing them in with this crew in the Z-Suite is very interesting. And I'll go over real quick what the concept of the show is. Lauren Graham and Nico Santos work at an agency, Atelier, which is kind of it's workshop in French. So it's kind of funny. The show is set in New York, quote unquote. It's probably filmed in Toronto because I see a lot of Canadian actors in it. And they are working at the agency. She's the head of the agency. Nico is her creative director. They've been doing it's an ad agency. They've been doing ads for years. They keep trying to win this like super advo, this award. She's won Lauren Graham's character has won a whole bunch of awards already. She's recognized. Her and Nico have been on the cover of magazines. They're just so popular. They've done it all. And then you have the Gen Z kids who have been at the company for less than a year and think it's time for them to pitch. While Lauren's character acknowledges that she's been there for 30 years, and that's, why the company is the way it is, she doesn't think those kids are ready, but the kids are the future. And some of the clients that they have are seeing that they want to aim for Gen Z and even Gen Alpha, if I'm being honest, because one of the characters in the show says he brings in his 14-year-old daughter, and that's cusping at that point. Gen Alpha and Gen Z, a 14-year-old right now at the time, 2025, is at the edge of that generation. So when Lauren's character puts on essentially Beats by Dre promo that her and Nico worked on, that was a little tone deaf. When you're watching, you can see they kind of just went for every person that puts on a pair of headphones. Here's the style of music that is most stereotypically affiliated with them or associated with them. And so when you're watching, you're just like, God, that feels cringy. And then the Gen Z kids see the ad, and even they go, this is going to be a problem. The internet blows up. Some heads have to roll. Lauren and Nico get kicked out. And the Gen Z kids who've been there for less than a year and technically shouldn't even be in line to be the next to run the company get promoted to the top. And that's where I feel the show kind of falls apart. The acting is really good. The characters are really great. But the stereotypical thing they're doing with Gen Z, where Gen Z is so entitled because they just show up and they expect to get everything they want, sucks. I know some Gen Z people who understand you have to put in the work, and I've met some millennials who come in the door and expect to be promoted right away because they feel they have the experience. And I think doing the characters this way kind of does it a disservice, because you could have told a story in which Lauren and Nico need the Gen Z to make things better. I feel like the ultimate ending of this story is going to be Lauren and Nico, who start their own boutique ad agency. This, because we've seen this before. This kind of storyline of someone getting ousted and they start a boutique thing, boutique law firm, boutique design firm, whatever. They get kicked out. They do their own boutique thing. They become too big. Hell, they even did it on The Office. You start your own little thing. You become too big. You pull the clients because you actually know the clients and you build a rapport with them for over 30 years. And then you take that relationship and you take the kids who don't know what they're doing and you end up merging them back together, and everyone's the better for it. And the lesson we learn is that together we can make things. Sure, I get that that's where the show is probably going to try and go, but based on the first two episodes, it doesn't feel like the strongest landing. Lauren and Nico are fantastic, albeit put in a weird situation. And the three young stars whose names I just, God, keep forgetting. Every time I look at them, I'm just like, yeah, I know you guys from somewhere, but I, for the life of me, can't remember your names. But they're good. I mean, the lead girl, I'll be honest, she's not that good. I feel bad saying it. As I'm watching this, so Madison doesn't really stick out to me. I don't know. I maybe it's because I haven't seen her other things. Her name's Madison Shamon, I think is her name. Yeah. I haven't seen her other things. I haven't seen her experience. Yeah, she's been on The Lake. She's done some episodes of Blackish. She's been in 11 episodes of All American. So she's done some stuff. It's just that in this show, you know what? If anything, I'll be honest. It's not that she hasn't done anything. She's probably doing exactly what she's supposed to do, and she's doing it well to the point where I don't like her. She's coming in. She's entitled. She doesn't really do the job well. She kind of just is, I'll be honest. It's funny now that I'm saying it, as I'm saying it, she's failing up is what's happening. And maybe that's something I should appreciate. Maybe that's what the show will do. Maybe that commentary, because there's a lot of mention of her character and the other two best friends, Clem and Elliot, played by Spencer Stevenson and Clem played by Anna Besler. Anna Besler. Wow, I gotta get better prescription for these glasses. But they're doing the Gen Z thing to almost an annoying extent. Like, there are times where people are talking to them and they say things in meetings with bosses like, oh no, I'm out, I won't be talking the rest of this meeting, and then closing their eyes as if they're going to sleep. Or, we're going to need you for a long-term commitment on this project, and they say things like, ooh, I'm anti-commitment, I'm poly something something, using a bunch of terms that honestly feels like it's diminishing the original message of those terminologies, whether it's poly, cis, trans, blah, blah, blah. I kind of feel like throwing it in that way feels like it diminishes it. But anyways, that's just the writing, because the joke of it is the quote unquote overuse of those words. It's anything will sound overused if you hear it for the first time by a bunch of people who've been hiding themselves. So it's not that they're overusing the word. They're just saying how they feel and who they are for the first time openly because they finally feel comfortable to do so. But go ahead and let's pretend like they're overusing the word and throw it in like it's a cliche thing. See, these are the things that I'm kind of disappointed with the show so far. So I'm hoping it'll be better. But if you're going to be on Tubi for the first time, you're going to be checking this stuff out for the first time, this might be it. This might be your chance to get onto Tubi. There are a bunch of other shows. There's another show that I once did a review on. I think they're called The Borders, if I'm not mistaken. It's a British show, and it was really good. I think season 2 is... Yeah, Borders. Season 2 is coming right about now. So, again, this is kind of a perfect opportunity to jump on Tubi, which is weird for me to say, like, jump on Tubi. But, and you don't need a subscription. I think one of the reasons I want people to give Tubi a chance is because I kind of just want people to get off Netflix. That's pretty much it. Get off Netflix. Try Tubi. It's free. and they just play ads, and you don't have to pay anything, and and again, you don't even have to subscribe. Anyways, that's my time. I'm out. Peace, y'all.